Hello and welcome back to Doz's Television Workshop. If you're here expecting part 3 of Matt's organ, you're going to be a little bit disappointed. This is just a quick video bringing together a lot of little bits. I've been making videos for people in the professional sound industry. It's what I do for a living. Check out Raycom TV below. Yeah, I work for this company called Raycom. One of our best-selling brands is Wisycom equipment. Now, in the sound industry, most sound people are familiar with Mac computers, Macintoshes. So they're not so good, some of them, with Windows machines. And these are a lot of stumbling blocks because the Wisycom control software called Wisycom Manager is only available for Windows at the moment. Now, so I get asked a lot of questions. How do I install this? How do I do this with the software? And whilst I have made some videos professionally, I can't keep up with it. The production team that does Raycom TV, it's a company called Trend. I borrowed their green screen a while ago. You may remember that. Those videos, you know, they take a lot of thought. They're not sort of the quick run and gun stuff. And it's the stuff I get asked on a day-by-day basis. So these videos, they're not great quality. Ironically, the sound is appalling. But, you know, I've used a laptop and just a mic's built into it. So they're not very good. And they're not good enough for Raycom TV. But I think they deserve an airing. So I'm actually going to make them public here. They'll probably get remade as proper Raycom TV productions in the future. Just not yet, and I'm trying to point people in the right direction. So if you're a soundie with Wisycom kit and you need to know about Wisycom Manager, we've got a few videos. I'm just going to read out what we're going to do. I'm going to try and put them into chapters, so chapters down on the scrolly thing at the bottom. Never done that before, so that's going to be a learning curve for me. But we have got installing the Wisycom UPK Mini on a Windows 10 or 11 laptop. We've got upgrading the firmware on the MCR42 receiver to enable the new ENS to work with MTP61 transmitters. So we're going to have a look at that. It's fairly straightforward. If you're lucky enough to own the new Wisycom MCR54, I say new, it's got to be over a year old now. The new MCR54, there is a function in Wisycom Manager that allows the MCR54 to act as an infrared bridge. It becomes, in effect, a UPK Mini, and you can use that to update MTP40S, MTP41S, and MTB40S firmware, which is useful. You can also use it to copy across channel maps. So we've got, how many sections is that? Installing UPK, upgrading a 5042, using the MCR54 as an IR bridge, updating MTP firmware, and moving a channel map or copying a channel map, editing a channel map. Those are going to be in there. Like I say, these are done quickly. Occasionally, I'm talking to somebody as if I'm talking to you now, but I'll name them. Hello, Simon, I think I'll say in one of them. It was just because it was made quickly for that client. But they're useful things. So, yeah, have a look. Let me know in the comments, etc. But this video really is for quite a narrow selection of people, unless you're interested in what I sort of do for a day job. Anyway, here they are. Here's the first video, installing your UPK Mini on a Windows 10 or 11 laptop. Installing UPK Mini. First thing we want to do is plug the UPK Mini in and go to the search bar. I want to open the device manager. And we just want to expand this ports common LPT thing here. And I've got USB serial device COM3. Now I'm just going to unplug the UPK Mini just to make sure we've got the right thing. There it is, gone. And actually, because it was the only port we had, it's completely vanished from the thing. So that's okay. We now know that this
is our device. It's not coming up with the correct device descriptor, so it's not installed as a UPK Mini. Okay, that's that out of the way. I'm just going to minimize that. I'm going to open a browser, and I'm going to go to wisycom.com, and I'm going to go support, downloads, and I'm going to go UPK Mini in this box here. UPK Mini, submit. There's my USB driver 2027. That's also the same as I've sent you, so you can use that if you wish. I'm just going to download it. Right, that's downloaded. Yep. Oh, it's already in there anyway. Okay, so if you want to go to Files, Downloads, I'm just going to unzip either one of these. It doesn't really matter. That's it. Extract all. Extract. Oh, we've now got our drivers extracted. So, back to Device Manager. I'll open that again. Right click, update driver. Don't allow it to do any of this. You want to browse. We want to go downloads, and we want to click on that folder, and that's there we go. So that's it. Okay. So click next. Installing drivers. Would you like to install this? Yes, please. Okay. Close that. And then we go into there, and it's now correctly identified as MSP UPK Mini CDC. And that's it. Job done.
Here's the second bit, updating your MCR42 firmware using a UPK Mini. Right, updating firmware on your MCR42. You should now have Manager installed. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to go to wisycom.com, click Support, go to Firmware Release Notes, scroll down to MCR4142, there it is, click there, click on firmware. That will download this XUPF zipped file. Click Extract All. You'll get a pop-up that says files will be extracted to this folder, normally your downloads folder. Extract. You don't need to show files when complete. Right, we can close those two windows now, and we can open Wisycom Manager. So wait for a second for that to open. Okay, so Wisycom Manager has opened. Okay, what we first need to now do is go over to our MCR42. We're going to need to hit Menu and select Infrared. There we go. Menu, Infrared, active. The UPK Mini is sort of near it. That should do us. Okay, and if it doesn't appear straight away, which in this case it has done, look, you just click the search button and it will come up. Click Firmware, click select, select a file. Now, I've already got 327 installed because I do this all the time. You will need to click Import. Okay, it will come up with the usual searching thing. Click Downloads, and there it is. That's your MCR42. Click Open, click it again, Open. That will now, you won't get that. That's because I've got it installed. So there you have it. That's the firmware we need, version 327. Click OK. You'll say upgrade to 327. Click the play button, and
go away and make a cup of tea, because this is going to take between sort of 10 and 15 minutes to complete per receiver. Don't attempt to do more than one at once. Once that's done, you will find in the companders list ENS, which you need for your MTP60. Cheers. Have a great day.
Here's the third one, the MCR54 as an infrared bridge, pretending to be a UPK Mini.
Okay, we're going to put an MCR54 into IR bridge mode. Here we have Wisycom Manager open. We simply plug our MCR54 into the USB port. It doesn't even need a base on it. That's my MCR54 starting up. We click on Discover Devices, and there it is. So we click on the diagonal arrow, which puts it up onto the tab 1 part of the display. Right click on any receiver, click Settings. It'll just take a second to load. There we go. IR Communication Bridge. Click that. Click Enabled. Click Apply. Click Close. You'll notice all the receivers are now off. And on the front of your MCR54, you should see IR bridge mode. So that is our MCR54 now pretending to be a UPK Mini.
Here's the fourth bit, updating your MTP40S, MTP41S or MTB40S transmitter using an MCR54.
Okay, so we've got our MCR54 in infrared bridge mode. Next thing we want to go and do is get the latest and greatest firmware from Wisycom. So open a web browser, wisycom.com. I haven't got an MTP40 S to try, but I've got a 41, and both procedures are the same. So I'm going to go into firmware release notes because I just find it easier that way to find stuff. I'm going to go down to MTP41. There's version 140J. Click on the firmware button. That will start a download. There's our download. It's automatically opened on this system. I'm going to click the Extract All button, which brings up this window. We don't need to show extracted files, but we'll do it anyway. Where am I going to want it put? I'm going to want it left in the Downloads folder. So I click Extract. When this has appeared, that's done. Right, we can get rid of all this now. That's that. So my MCR54 is still in bridge mode. I'm going to put the MTP41 into we put it so the windows are together, and there it is. Brilliant. Now we click Firmware Update. Some devices are monitored. Unload taps to upgrade them. That's because our 54 is loaded as well. We're not bothered by that because we're not updating the firmware on a 54. Select a file. Now, I happen to know I already have a late file loaded, but just ignore that. You click the Import button. Import from Downloads. There's our 140J. Double click that. And this is the actual file. The top one's a folder. Click on that. Click Open. I've already got it. You won't have this error message, but yes, that's what I want. This is actually a service version, but your version 1.40J will appear here. Click OK. Just click the play button, and that will now upload to the device. Except for I've taken too long, and the bastard thing got bored. Bear with me, we're shutting that. This is a problem with some of these MTP style transmitters. Find out. It's okay, we will do it again. There it is. Quickly, firmware update. Okay, select a file. This will again be the one you've just imported. Click on OK, click the play button. Device has now says bootload on it. That's the MTP on the transmitter itself, says bootload. And we're programming the device via the MCR54 IR bridge. The world is a better place.
And the last, but by no means least, copying a channel map between two devices.
Okay, so here's a neat trick we can do. We've got MCR54 loaded into Wisycom Manager. Right click on any of the receivers, go to settings, take a second to load. There we are. Now go to channels memory and just click view. So what Manager is currently doing is reading all the groups and all the channels from the MCR54. And there it is. So this is our complete default channel map, because this is a brand spanking new unit. So there's all our groups. Now you can go in there and edit these. Click on the pencil. You can edit these to suit your parts. Obviously, if you want to edit a free group, go up into the green bits there, and you can punch in frequencies. But also, we can save it. Now, that brings up a box. I'm just in downloads here. So this is Wisycom channels memory file. We're just going to call that DOS. I'm going to click save. I'm going to come out of that editing screen, and I'm actually going to come out of here as well. I'm just going to drop our MCR54 back into IR bridge mode. That's it, I'm in IR bridge mode. I'm going to 41S. I'm going to pop that into IR now operating, so we should see it pop up in the bottom here. Click on the old magnifying, there it is. I'm just going to bring that up. I'm going to click settings, and here you can see RF, and here we've got channels memory again. What we can actually do, if we click view, that's reading. Of course, this is over infrared. It's a bit of a pedestrian interface. Let's click on view. This will take some time. And there's our channels memory. What we can do is actually load the file. My bad, I clicked save. Click on this one, open file. And we'll go into downloads. There's my DOS file that we saved from the MCR54. Click open. Now that is now the same file that we had in the 54. Now you can see these ones have changed. So now we can actually write that back to our MTP41S. You can see the green line at the bottom here, very sluggish. It's not a fast interface infrared, but there we go. It's moving across. Again, this principle also applies regardless of whether you're copying the information, say, from an MCR54, and you've got a couple of old MCR42s, for example, and you want the same map. The process is exactly the same. except obviously you've got to sync up at MCR42. But the process is identical, no matter what you're syncing to. You load the channel map that you saved out of your principal receiver or principal transmitter. It'll go either way. It's a very, very flexible interface. Now you can see all these channels have come up in black, which means they're written. And that is how you marry channel maps up across receivers and transmitters. Thanks for watching.
That'll do.
Thank you.